Hi,
Maybe
welcome
you're
to the
the
Vaguely
problem.
Anime Podcast.
Mike's always the
I
problem.
am one of the hosts today, Michael, followed by the only other two hosts that we have, Sage
That's me.
and Kat.
Yep.
We're a trio. And
Yep.
sometimes
Sometimes Kieran. He's
Some-
here. He's always here. He just doesn't want to.
Limited guest appearance.
Yeah.
By Kieran.
But now we're a trio
Yeah.
of I am now outnumbered. It was first the dudes that were winning,
It's true.
and now it's
then
the
it evened
females.
out, and now you're outnumbered.
Yep.
Yep.
Which is like my worst
But-
nightmare. As
but-
everyone knows, afraid of women.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Every man's worst nightmare. Two women, one guy.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Every man's worst nightmare. Anyway, so I was gonna mention, fucking, why do I have random messages on this computer? Anyway, hey, so I wanted to bring up, you said you were watching, Chainsaw Man, right? And,
Yes.
And that you got fucking spoiled.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, no,
did.
don't spoil
No,
anything.
I'm not
No,
gonna
we're
spoil
not.
it. But
Yeah.
I wanted to point out the absurdity of the way she got spoiled, which is that this lady right here,
He's pointing to me, Kat.
Kat.
If you're
Yeah,
not
audio
listening.
only.
Yeah.
somehow has been on anime Twitter for at least 3 years, and will look at tweets and then read comments, and has not gotten spoiled for any show ever until like 2 days ago.
What? How
I
is that
didn't know
possible?
it was a thing.
Okay,
Literally, she
hold on.
messaged me this, and I was like, everybody knows not to read comments on
Hold
Twitter.
on.
She goes, I didn't know that. I
As-
do it all the time.
As
Every
somebody
single day of my life.
As somebody who like, for the most part, doesn't really use social media. Like I have basically an account for everything, but I'm like a lurker. I don't
I'm the
post.
same exact way.
And
Same.
but like
Yeah.
I have Twitter, and when House of the Dragon was on, after every single episode aired, I would go on Twitter to see the memes, because these people would make like high quality memes like literally instantaneously. I was like, how are you guys doing this so quick? Jesus Christ. But to see like what people thought about the episodes. So I can't imagine.
I've been spoiled by stuff that wasn't anime. Like, so, like,
Right.
I love Dancing with the Stars. I've been spoiled. I love that
I heard
show
there's
so
like
much.
drama with Tyra Banks being the announcer.
Oh, yeah. She's been, like, the host for the past,
Right.
like, two seasons? I don't know if
But I
it's
heard
2 or
there's
3
like
at this
tea
point.
now that it's on Disney Plus, and she's like being even more extra than normal.
Oh, I actually thought she's been better. I thought she got, like, a firm talking to,
Really?
like, about it. Yeah.
I saw on Twitter people.
Firm talking
Because she
to.
like sucks everybody's dick now. Like she's way nicer. The other, I don't know if
Really?
it's one other or two other.
Is Charlie
seasons that she's
D'Amelio
been
still on?
She's gonna win.
Oh, okay.
Like for sure. There's no way that she's not.
I feel like it's unfair when they have actual
I know.
dance background people.
I hate that too. This is like probably my actual like favorite show to actually watch.
That's
and
surprising.
I don't know. There's just something about it. I
No,
really
that's
like
fair.
it. I guess watching these people that you know from random things, and then they're just like, they
Yeah.
gotta learn to fucking dance. And you, like,
I
watch
love
'em.
like just random C-list celebrities.
Yeah.
So
They've
I
been
get
getting
it.
better though. There's a lot of like B&As lately.
I zoned out. Are we talking about Dancing with the Stars?
Yeah, we
Yes.
sure
That
are.
show's still going?
I only
Yeah,
know.
of course it is.
Wait,
It's
what
season
happened to that blonde bitch who was the
31.
host for a long time?
Okay, so there was 2 hosts. There were, don't remember their names.
So one was
But
blonde and she was very pretty.
Yeah, and then there was like an older guy.
Sure.
I
don't
so there was
remember the
2 of
pretty
them
blonde.
that shared it, but you also there's I'm pretty sure she's blonde. But are you thinking of the So You Think You Can Dance?
Oh,
Because she's really really pretty.
yes, that's who I'm thinking
Um,
of. Sorry, I
but
get
yeah.
those two mixed up,
That's
even
what I
though they're
figured.
not like the same. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
But so all of a sudden, again, I don't know if it's 2 seasons ago or 3 seasons ago. All of a sudden, they were fired, and Tyra Banks was now
I literally
the
can't.
host of the
I
show.
can't stand
it was
Tyra Banks.
so fucking random. I'm
like
you've
The model lady?
yes.
yeah.
She's still a thing?
She's
I
become
mean, that's what
so,
she came back as.
the
Like she
prob-
came back as this
because
host.
she was also a host for America's Got Talent, right? She was for a little bit. I
I
feel like
didn't
she was
know
the host
that.
for like 1 or 2 seasons
I
of
actually
America's
didn't know
Got
that, but I
Talent.
don't watch that. I only see the
I don't really
clips.
watch it either. Like I'll see clips, but I do remember that being a thing. I think is it Nick Cannon again now? It might be somebody else.
Didn't he get like canceled?
Oh no, it's
Did he?
it's what's his name? Terry Crews.
Yes, I actually did.
Oh,
Yes,
that.
so
America's
before-
Got Talent?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
before Terry Crews, it was Tyra Banks.
Oh.
But My biggest problem with Tyra Banks is I feel like she just loves to self-insert herself in literally everything.
Yes,
And I'm like,
absolutely. And she does that on Dancing
bitch,
with the
you
Stars.
don't
She's
dance.
reaching.
You're a
She's
fucking
fucking
model. Like,
reaching,
you're not even a
dude.
model anymore. Just
Like,
let it go.
Monday's episode was the 90s.
Right.
Like, that
That's
was the
cute.
theme. And of course, she had to talk about that's her heyday
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything and blah, blah, whatever. So, but yeah, she does that. But, and this might be, because I've tried looking at Twitter to see if anybody else has this opinion. So this is probably an unpopular opinion. But so they got the guy who plays Carlton in Fresh Prince.
Rivera.
Yeah. He's the second host now. Before it was just Tyra, then they have him. I hate him. I think he's awful. I think he's worse than Tyra.
Damn.
I don't see anybody else saying that, so he just must be personally pissing me off. I don't know, like, what about
Is it like his
He-
personality that
I
rubs you the
guess
wrong
he
way?
I was gonna say, he
self-inserts
hosts,
constantly.
He hosts America's
Home-
Funny Home
yes,
Videos. And
yeah.
He does good on that. I mean, I don't watch it all
But I
that
feel
often,
like
but
that's
what I've
more
seen-
comedy driven than like Dancing with the
So
Stars.
he was on Dancing with the Stars. I don't know
That was
what
a while
season.
ago, though,
yes,
right?
it was a while ago.
I
I
remember
think
that.
he won.
Did he really?
Can you look that
Did
up?
Zendaya win her season?
No, she's a
Zendaya didn't win her
she's
season.
talked about like she should have. What
She-
she's one of the ones that it's like.
She's
How
like
did she
the
not?
only
Yeah.
true A-list celebrity
How
they
did
ever
she
had,
not?
and she
No,
has a
they
dance
have,
background, and she never won.
They have
Who
Wayne
beat her?
Brady on right now.
Um,
Wayne
A-list.
Brady.
You don't know Wayne Brady?
Did you never watch fucking like
Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Or the Wayne Brady show? I didn't watch the Wayne Brady show, but that was a thing.
I did not watch.
He's
the
an
Wayne Brady show.
actor. He was on Broadway. He
I don't
Whose
he
know.
was
Line
on
Is
the
It
Masked.
Anyway?
Yeah, he was
I
on the
don't-
Masked Singer.
I
He's
don't-
a comedian.
it's-
He is like
Also,
is he an
old
old
white guy?
Alfonso
No.
did win.
Yes. Okay.
Who's
So
Alfonso?
that's Carlton.
Oh, sorry.
You were
I'm
so
re-
lost in
I'm
this
really
conversation.
bad with
It's
like
ridiculous.
names.
To be fair, most people only know him as Carlton.
Right,
so.
like
Yes,
if you
I
show me
did know his
Wayne
name was
Brady's
Alfonso.
face, I'm sure I'll know who
Yes,
that is.
show.
But just the name is like, I don't know.
But he self-inserts constantly. So Wayne's partner is. This is Wayne Brady.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay, yes, I do
So
know who that is. I
his-
apologize.
His partner is Whitney, and that was Carlton. I'll just keep saying Carlton.
Right,
even
that's fine.
Alfonso.
I understand.
His partner. So anytime Wayne tries to be like, you know, Whitney is just so amazing. She's so understanding. She's such a good teacher. Blah blah. He's like, oh, I know. Oh, I know. Oh, of course I would know. Like constantly.
Because he was also with her.
And yes, because that was his partner. Just like let Wayne be nice and like his
Right,
gratitude.
compliment
towards-
this
yeah,
woman.
and then he's like, "Oh, I would know." And it's like, okay, well, he's talking more to the audience and not you to
Right.
be like, you know, she's amazing, helps me out, all these things, and it's just so annoying. Also, he did this thing again. I didn't see anybody talk about it. So there's these two dancers that are on the show because all of the professionals are on multiple seasons. Like they
Right.
usually stay around so you know who they are. So two of the dancers just got divorced. Like it was just announced a couple months ago that they were getting a divorce. They've been together for like 7 years or something, whatever. So this happens like 2 weeks into the show, 2 or 3 weeks into the show. Emma and Sasha. So Sasha's the man.
Right.
So Emma has this partner, and I can't think of what he's from, but he's like this heartthrob guy, right? And I think he's in like soaps or something.
Right.
Young, whatever. They're both blonde, so people talk about like they just look like such a like beautiful couple and blah blah whatever. So this is like 2 or 3 weeks in. They do this like dance. I think they did the rumba, which is supposed to be like a like sensual,
Right.
sexy dance, right? And so Alfonso asked them questions. Like they added this newly because they have no commercials. They have to fill 2 hours.
Right. Because
So
it's on Disney Plus
yes.
now.
So he asked them questions, and this is, mind you, like a month after it's announced that she's getting a
2
divorce.
hours?
It's 2 full hours. Yeah.
Fuck
Jesus.
I hate to be part of that production.
Yeah, and like there's no breaks because there's no
No, fuck
commercials, so they literally don't, like the judges like
And
don't
it's
have a
2
break.
hours live.
Yeah, it's live.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, fuck
that
that.
sounds like
Um,
such a nightmare.
Yeah.
At least with commercial breaks, you can like take a break.
It literally.
Well,
Go
I
get
didn't think
water.
if it wasn't live, then you'd be fine no matter
like
what.
I don't know
Right,
like what
but-
happens if someone needs to go to the bathroom. They just can't. Like,
yeah, no, you just gotta hold it in.
yeah.
They put everybody in
Because
depends.
the judges are there the whole time.
Yeah,
Like,
but when they're not
they-
on screen, I'm sure they have time.
like maybe they have time to run during
They
play,
they
like,
definitely have
packages
they,
before.
yeah they definitely have
Yeah.
like it's all planned out. Like if they're doing that weekly,
yeah.
I
it's
can't-
all planned. It's planned out of like
because
the
don't
way
have
they
to
shoot
sit
around
on
things.
like where I guess like the main stage would be. Like they're
The
not
judges
sitting,
are
no,
there.
but I mean the cast.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the judges. Like, how the fuck are they doing that?
Well, they must be right before it starts and then right after.
I guess so.
I mean, yeah, but they're not on screen all the time.
but wouldn't you be too worried that like?
No, it is absolutely all
I feel
planned
like
out.
you would
First
have
of all,
time
you
to go,
have
like,
they
in a
would
number.
they would have somebody in their ear telling them, "Hey, you're off camera. You have 5 minutes."
do
or
they,
something,
I
you
don't
know?
think
Do
they
they
have
do
that one, but
like
yeah.
do they insert clips of like
I'm just saying generically,
like a training montage
Yes.
essentially?
Yeah.
So maybe they just go
That's what
during
I'm
the
saying.
training montage.
But they don't have that much time. So I guess if they
or
really
during
like, run,
interviews.
Right, because they're not on screen for the interview, right?
yeah, but those aren't that long, and then it
I-
immediately goes to their
I
like
feel like the
scores.
training montage is probably
Yeah,
like-
that's probably
either,
the only
either
time.
way, they absolutely plan stuff like that out. Like,
Well, yeah.
like because if you're doing a 2-hour live show every week, you absolutely have everything
Oh,
planned out to the
definitely.
minute of like, hey, when this bit goes on, you have 5 minutes to go and do whatever you need to do, like, and then you gotta get back, and they have someone in their ear, I'm sure, being like, all right, you have a minute left, like, so.
I guess so. Wait, so the thing with Emma, so after they're done with their dance, right, Alfonso asked them, like, oh, you know, you did this, like sensual, sexy dance. Was that passion real?
Right.
Like, asking, I don't remember the exact wording of what he did, but essentially asking them if they have a thing for each other while her husband or like ex-husband is there. They're
Right.
both dancers on the show, like asking, oh yeah, like you got a thing for
well,
this
you guys
new
just got
dude?
divorced, so is this your new piece?
But like that's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Because if it
But I
was
mean,
just
like-
she's on a show and you know the ex-husband's also like famous, like whatever,
Right.
then that still sucks because he could see it on TV. But not this is like he's in the fucking room, like he's
Right.
there, and you're gonna ask him that, and then
I also feel like it's just a thing of like with shows like that, like if drama happens like to these real life people, like they want it to be like as salacious and
Yeah,
like
it just felt.
tantalizing headlines as possible, if that makes sense.
I like the
Which I
audacity
personally
that he
hate.
did.
I
ugh.
wish they didn't go to those kinds of extremes, but it's just
And I think the self-inserting and then that like sealed the deal for me that I just like don't like him. He self-inserts all the time. Not even just like with Wayne and Whitney. Like he just does it all the time. And it's gotten to a point that I actually like Tyra better than him because I think he's so awful. And I hated Tyra. Like literally every time she was on screen, it was just like so fucking awful. But that's why I think someone had to have like talked to her and be like,
you gotta stop.
because she was like rude.
Tyra, chill. You gotta chill. We're firing you if you
No,
don't.
it's
Like-
weird. Like I feel like she has this mentality that she's still like really bookable, if that makes
Yes.
sense.
No,
I,
absolutely.
I honestly thought she was fucking like
I-
not dead, but like socially dead.
Right, but
Yeah.
like I
she
feel
was.
like her
She was canceled after America's Next Top Model too. That's why I didn't know she was.
yeah, like
Like, did she
on.
get canceled?
yeah, because
It was like
during
a
America's
cancel light.
Yeah,
It was-
cancel-
Cancel like
Yeah,
Yeah.
diet
cancel.
cancel.
Yeah, literally, because
because
it wasn't that
basically
much.
during America's Next Top Model, but also a lot of America's Next Top Model was filmed in the early 2000s.
No, well yes, but I
But
saw
most of
things
the,
were
like-
later too.
But
that
there
were, like,
was also
fucked.
later stuff like going into the 2010s.
Yeah,
But a lot of the early 2000 stuff
were
is
really
just
fucked up.
is just really things you can't say on television anymore,
Yeah.
and just concepts for photo shoots that you really cannot be doing.
Yes.
Like there was this one, I think it was in season 8, where they had like a bunch of short models, and they were all going to be like biracial, and they had almost like all the white models like painted dark, It was very strange choice.
They've done a lot of that throughout the season.
And you know what's weird?
When they've done like jungle, tribal theme, like fucked up. Like,
you know
things
what's
that
weird
you
though?
can't
And
do.
I don't see other like many people mentioning this. There was one contestant where they wanted her to like close the gap in her teeth, right? So they wanted her to get like actual like dentist surgery done to close the gap in her teeth because they thought it was too wide and that like she wouldn't be like booked as a model with the gap in her teeth like that, and she refused to do it because she's like, no, like I like how I look, I don't want to change that. But then I think it was like several seasons later they had another girl widen the gap of her teeth.
Widen?
Yeah, so
Like she had
so she had a very slight gap between her teeth, her front two teeth. And they had her go to the dentist and shave off, I think, like a millimeter off each side to widen the gap. And I'm like, so you're going to tell one girl who already has a natural gap to close it?
Did they kick her off because of it? Because she wouldn't listen?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I assume you don't know. But so they would do these makeovers every single season. There's these makeovers where the girls don't have a choice in what happens to them. Hair.
I vaguely remember that
like-
because I was a younger brother.
Yes.
You know, so
Right.
like to a sister.
Right.
So a lot of times it was
Yeah.
the only TV that
And
that
that was-
isn't the one that my parents are watching is the one that she controls.
That was
so.
like the most amazing like episode of the show. Like people always look forward to it, and it's honestly fucked up because you like wanted to see people like cry, like see what they were gonna come up with, like and to be like, I don't know. I never liked that because there were so many makeovers that I thought that it looked fucking horrible.
My biggest thing is
It
I
made
was
no
like,
sense.
I just kept waiting for them to realize that you cannot put in weaves on hair that is not on a black person. Like, the type of hair that most white and Asian people have is just too fine. You have to tightly braid it and create a basket with the hair to sew on the hair.
I also don't
which
know
you can't
why-
do with this kind of hair.
Why did
and
they just
kept
do
trying to give these
extensions?
They kept trying to give these fucking girls weaves, and it always looked fucking awful. And I'm like, you're actually just sabotaging them. Like, you're just
I
putting
honestly
a stamp
think that they
being
were
like,
doing
we
that
don't
on-
want you to win.
I
Here's
think
an
that they
ugly
were
ass
doing
weave
that
on
on
your hair that
purpose.
cannot withstand a weave.
Yeah.
And like, or they would make like choose choices that just, in my opinion, were very unflattering.
I thought so too. Like,
where like some
and then some girls stayed exactly the same.
Oh, yes.
Like which that was like a big huge thing that people were like, what the fuck? Like you're supposed to be changing everything, and
Right.
then there were just some people that they didn't do anything. So are you saying that they're favorable because
Right.
like they're just perfect without you having to do anything? Like,
I also
it's all fucked
love
up.
when they would like bleach a girl who had like really dark hair, and they would try to get her platinum in one day, and then like at the reveal photo shoot her hair would be like super bright yellow.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm like,
Or they like
did
fried her hair
did
and then
toner
cut
not
it.
exist
Yeah.
at this time?
I don't know. So, but that's that. And then because lots of things that have happened in this, Tyra was diet canceled. But the reason it was so little was because not many people like knew about it. So like
Right.
you had to have known about it, heard about it.
I think if you weren't a fan of America's Next Top Model, like you didn't care.
Yeah, like they kind of talked about it in the media, but like only a little bit. So like it didn't really go anywhere. So like that's why we say it's like
Although I
Not really
do
canceled, but
remember there
canceled.
being an article about, I think it was like the first time that they had like their All-Stars. I don't know if they ever did a second season of it, but they had like an All-Star season of like girls from past seasons competing again. And there was one girl, I think her name was like Angelique or Angela or something like that, and she was supposed to win. And they were like, had already filmed her winning and everything. But then they had to refilm the ending and made like
Why?
the runner-up win because supposedly they like dug up some like past information on her, and she was like an escort previously, which is apparently
Interesting.
like against the rules. Like you're not allowed to do
Interesting.
that.
I wonder why.
Which was so like, so this girl who they already filmed her winning.
So did they take the money away from her?
So she
you get like money, a contract. Like what is? The
so
winnings
they
again?
just they they said that like she broke her contract by, I guess, being an escort in
There's
the past.
no way they fucking wrote that in like the fine print
I don't
of
know
what
what
they
it-
made them sign.
like, I
no
don't know
fucking
what it
way
was, but
they
that's-
listen. You cannot be an escort.
It's probably probably wasn't specifically escort. It was probably something written in there about not being able to do some kind of
Right,
work
it was
like
probably
that.
like
but
anything
before you
related to
ever
like
went
sex work.
on,
Yeah, like I think it was before she was on the
Crazy.
show.
It was probably like one of those things of like, you know how when you're filling out things, it's like, do you have prior history of XYZ?
guess.
Right.
That might have been one of those. And
But
she said no.
so then they had to refilm the ending, and
Either
the
way, it's still
runner-up
fucked up.
won. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Also, I'm just looking at like makeovers from the show, and I like how all of the before and after pictures are like, the before pictures look like they were all taken out of DMV,
let me see.
Yeah, the
and the
before,
afters are all like obviously
like
like.
photo
Oh, yeah,
shoots.
yeah, yeah.
No, because the
And it's
before,
like, man, I bet the before would also look really good if you did the exact
No,
same
'cause
shit.
mind you, all of these girls did look good before.
Yeah.
They all are models. Like they all came on. They've already been doing modeling and come on, and like they're picked. So they already are beautiful. Like nothing wrong with them. They purposely pick them, and then they do all these things to them. That's why it's also like there were so many ones that I've seen, because I haven't seen every season. I've only seen a couple, and I probably haven't watched it since like 2005 or something. But did you ever watch Brad Mondo? Like
Yes,
he does
yes, I
reactions
love
to that.
him.
So I'll watch his videos where he just does like reacting to makeovers, and there are some that are just so fucking ugly. Like
I really
don't get why
like
they did that
the
to them.
makeovers where they don't do like the biggest difference in the world, but they just really enhance what they already got going on.
Yeah.
Like there's one I always remember very specifically in my head. This girl, I think it was like season 14 or something, but she had like brown blonde hair, but it wasn't like styled or anything. Like, you know how like girls who have like semi curly hair, but they don't style it, so it just kind of looks frizzy. So that's like what her hair was like. So all they did was just style her hair and gave her some highlights and lighten her eyebrows, and I was like, wow, you look incredible. 10 out of 10. Like, this is amazing, because that's all she needed. Like, if they went and gave
But
her
did
like
she continue to style her hair?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
for the rest of the show, but if they went and made her like, you know, white platinum or like a deep chocolate brown, like, it wouldn't have looked as good.
I feel like there was a couple people that they made go like bald, like, you know, like
Yeah.
Sure
really
is. I was
short.
literally just looking at some of those. That
Like,
Yeah,
literally
that-
shaved
that
these
was
girls'
such a
heads.
favorable thing, and there were some people that looked absolutely amazing with it, but there were some people that just didn't have the head shape for it.
Yeah.
And then they would go, the worst thing is people would go home because of their makeovers, because they were like, oh, you couldn't make it work, and it's like, you fucked me over. You
Yeah.
literally fucked me over. And
There
then-
was one girl I remember
Oh,
who they
God.
she already kind of had. Oh, but
Yes.
she was naturally, she has alopecia, very extreme.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, so they actually
You remembered the person?
I remember that one specifically because
Fucking
in the
ugly.
before that's actually a wig.
Okay.
And I just remember this very clearly because she had like very like inconsistent growth patches. So that's why she was wearing the wig, because she was like, I don't know if I should just be bald because
Well,
I can't
that's
have
better
the
then,
patches.
because she honestly didn't look that bad, but I was thinking that was her hair before, and then they did that to her, and then I was
No.
just like, oh, I don't like that. But she doesn't look horrible.
No. But there was
that's
one
not-
girl I
there's
remember
some
who
people that
was
just look
like
really bad.
even taller than the other girls. Like, this woman was a freaking Amazon, and she already had like very short kind of buzzed hair, and they just buzzed it even more. And I remember I was like, wow, this is the kind of woman I want to be with. Like, this is incredible.
Oh my god.
It was great. 10 out of 10.
All right, that's that portion.
That's that. Forget
That's
Tyra
it.
Banks. We're over her now.
Yeah.
I have nothing. The only thing I had was the whole I can't believe you didn't get spoiled until
Oh
now.
yeah,
that
we
was
could-
what we
We
started
could go back
with.
to that. I don't really know how this happened, but sure, we could go back to that. Yeah. So for 3 years, I've gone on Twitter, and all I do, if you go onto my Twitter, Kat the Moonstar, and you go
At
through,
Twitch.
No, she's
I was
saying her
plug- I know, I was
Twitter.
plugging you though.
but I'm talking about
Yeah,
Twitter.
but I'm also plugging you.
But then they're gonna think it's Kat the Moonstar at Twitch is my Twitter
No,
handle.
That's
Whatever, it doesn't matter. So if you look through my likes, it's it's just fan art. Like, that's literally just my likes is fan art. This is like what I do on Twitter all day. It's mostly Genshin. There's some other stuff, but it's mostly Genshin. But I'll look at stuff all the time, and I'll look through the comments just because I'm curious, well, like what people say, or if there's like a meme or something. Like I've never not looked, and it's been fine.
I can't believe she is, especially with like My Hero Academia. That shit's everywhere.
Nope.
Like, I can't believe you never got spoiled until 2 days ago.
Yep. And it was like it was all building up for 3 years, and they just give me the worst fucking spoiler they possibly could, that someone just like casually commented under a picture.
Oh, that's the worst.
Like, it's so bad. It's so bad that both Ryan and Mike said, I can't even know right now because it ruins the entire show.
Yeah, she asked me, she was like, so, and I was like, I literally can't tell you anything. Like,
Yeah,
like,
because I was specifically asking because
so
I'm a
you
person who hates not knowing shit.
No, so you need, whenever I get spoiled for things I'm going to watch, which is very infrequently because I'm very late to every trend,
it's true.
I literally take that moment. I'm like, I don't know where and when this happens and why it's significant, and I just throw it out of my brain.
I wish I could be like you because
Because
I fucking can't.
But the other thing is, I just know that I might get around to it in the next 5 years, and by the time that rolls around, I'm gonna forget that I got that spoiler.
I literally don't think it's possible to forget this spoiler because
The
now
spoiler that she got is not gonna happen in the anime for like
Yeah.
till like season 3.
literally.
Oh,
like
by the time season 3 comes around, you'll forget.
I don't think so because now whenever I see the character, I think about it. Like it's one of those that it's not like a little like just that's it, it's gone. Like
I guess that's fair.
literally Ryan was like,
Wait,
I
no,
cannot tell
hold
you
on.
because it will ruin the entire show for you, so don't.
Hold on, because did you ever watch Pretty Little Liars?
Not all of it, but like episodes.
Okay.
And I know of a
Are
lot
you-
that what happens.
Okay, so is it okay if I spoil something about
Yes.
that? Okay.
Okay, spoilers
So-
for Pretty Little Liars.
It's so awful and I love it so much. But I knew for like, because I had dropped Pretty Little Liars, I think after like season 2 when it was still airing on television, because I was like, yeah, I'm just kind of over it. No, it was season 3 because that's when it got a little too ludicrous for me. And
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
think I watched
yeah, whatever.
1.5, and then I stopped.
But I remember very specifically, I was at this girl's house and it just happened to be on TV, and it was the end of season 5 or 6, and it was like the CC Drake reveal as like and I remember seeing that, and it wasn't until, so that was like sometime in high school, and then in college or right after college I decided to watch the whole show because it was on HBO Max, and I was like, yeah, whatever, like,
And you forgot that you ever saw
no,
that?
I remembered
Oh.
seeing that, but I didn't know like when that happened. So like I knew that reveal was coming, but I was like, I don't know when this is happening because I didn't know how far they were into it. And by the time I got to it, I was like, oh, that makes sense, except it doesn't in terms of the plot.
Yeah.
But yeah,
There's
I
a lot.
recommend watching it. If you want to watch like true teen drama trash, like pre-Riverdale garbage, because I think nothing can exceed the absolute insanity that is Riverdale.
Yes.
Watch Pretty Little Liars. It's pretty good.
I might, because lately I haven't been able to pay attention. Because like before I used to like always watch stuff while I worked. Lately I just haven't been able to pay attention. Like I'm just too zoned into work. Don't know why. Just don't have the attention span.
You're just
to
working
do.
too hard.
I don't know because I'm not. It's stuff that I've always done. It's not new stuff. It's not more complicated. Like I'm just totally zoning it out, and I'll have to go back multiple times, and then I'm like, whatever. Like it's just that.
Yeah.
So I was rewatching You, so I could just decide to do that because it'll be a rewatch for like a season or two. I'm rewatching Future Diary, and it holds up. I still like it. Still up there for me. I'm like 10 episodes in. I'm
Yeah.
like, yep, this is still good.
Are you sure?
Yep.
It's her favorite show. You
No,
know
it's
this.
not my
Okay, I
favorite.
haven't
It's
re-
up there.
It's
I-
her favorite show. You know this.
I still haven't. I only
the
watched.
Yandere show is her favorite show.
I
And
only
Yuno
watched it
is
the
up
one
there for my top waifus.
time, and I think that was enough. I think if I never
Sure
watch
was
it again,
enough. Sure
it
was.
will be too soon.
Well,
I don't see what appeal
God.
holds you.
I just like it.
Because I don't even think it's entertaining garbage. I just think it's like tedious.
Also, the best
garbage.
girl is not even
It's
It's-
not the fucking terrorist.
Yeah, it is.
It's not.
The
There
terrorist
is
is the
no
best
best
girl.
girl.
It's not.
No, the terrorist.
It's
No.
Yuno.
The terrorist.
It's
Wrong. Both of you are incorrect. There is no
Anyway,
best girl.
That shows are garbage. But I still can't believe you've never gotten spoiled before. Like, it's still shocking to me.
I don't know.
And again, like, it's something that, like, you were saying, like, she asked me, and I was like, you literally can't explain it. It would ruin everything else.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things where you're like, it can give you an idea of what's going on, but without the full picture. And so the full picture would just ruin everything else.
Wait, I think I've only been spoiled on one anime as well.
Which is?
It was Attack on Titan. It was right after season 1 came out, and the guy I was dating at the time was reading the manga, so he was like way further ahead in the story than I was because I was only watching the anime. And then after I told him, yeah, I just watched season 1, he literally told me the plot of like season 3, and I was like,
So you also have never been on
like, what
social
the
media
fuck, my
and
guy?
Yeah,
spoiled.
but she knows not to look at comments.
oh no, it's not even that. It's just I am literally so absent from social media like that. And if it is something that I'm actively watching, like when I was watching Girls Planet 999 and I was going on YouTube, I knew there would be like stuff on YouTube talking about the episodes as they were coming out. And if I hadn't watched it yet, I would literally cover the screen and be like, just keep scrolling. Just keep scrolling.
You know how I got spoiled for Attack on Titan?
Oh God, what?
Cultured manga. That's how I got spoiled before, like during season 1, and I was just like,
You're like, well, goddamn.
How?
it was part of the plot.
Yeah, and the manga was out for a while before the anime.
Yeah, it was part of the plot of the thing I was reading.
Interesting.
Yeah,
it came up.
I kind of hate it when cultured manga does that.
Dude, you know how many
which-
fucking times I got spoiled from cultured manga?
I can't even blame
So
them
many.
for doing it, but there are times where I do get annoyed because I'm just like, yeah, I just get upset when cultured manga does that because it's like, I'm not here for like the relevancy of the actual show, but then I see things where I'm like, wait a damn minute, I haven't seen that happen yet.
So spoilers for Attack on Titan. You're off, right?
Absolutely not. But I actually fell off the Attack on Titan like hype train. Basically, by the time season 2 came around, because it was like a 4-year wait, right?
Yeah, it was a long gap.
By the time season 2 came around, I was just like over it essentially. Like I feel like I will go back because people say it is really excellent.
It is.
But I just have had no interest
Do you know what the Titans are?
No.
Okay, never mind.
Basically, all I know is like the stuff you get from the first season, and then a little bit of stuff that I think they explore in like the second season with like the fucking Gorilla Titan or whatever the hell it is. Oh, it's a big.
The Beast Titan.
Yeah, sure.
I found out the like identities of the Titans via
Oh,
via that.
Gotcha.
And like I remember when I first saw it, I was like, that's random. Like, because it didn't even click. I was like, well, that's just a weird thing to
You're
have.
like,
in
why
this
would
thing.
you do that?
And then
It's a weird
like,
choice.
and then the more like because it was like a pretty solid one, so you went back.
Yeah.
And then like the second time
You're
around, I
like
was like,
mid-stroke and it clicks.
oh, I got it. Like, all right. Damn it, I was spoiled for that.
That's
It was the clarity.
That's
It
a
was the clarity.
yeah. It was the clarity. That's really funny.
But yeah, so I've also found a lot of shows from cultured manga.
I feel like I haven't. Although,
Well, yeah, but you also said you avoid.
no, I avoid ones of shows I've already watched.
Yeah, which I don't.
But even like shows I haven't watched, I think there's only maybe like 1 or 2 where I'm like, this actually looks interesting. Let me like look into it, because for the most part, I'm like, it's very separated in my brain of like these characters can only exist in this context, and I don't want to know like what the actual like source material is, if that makes sense, because I don't want to sully it.
Nah, I'm pretty good at just being like, yeah, all right, whatever. Like, they're separate things. But, like, so like, I'll see it and be like, these characters seem interesting. I wonder what they're in. Then it'll be like, oh, you know, like the parody tag of, like, whatever. And you're
Right.
like, oh, all right, I'm going to write that show down and go watch it later.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know? And then also some shows just, like, lean towards it, like High School DxD and stuff like that.
You know, unrelated to culture manga and actual manga, I just started reading Haikyuu.
I still need to watch Haikyuu.
Okay, so I was gonna watch Haikyuu, but then I decided no, let me read the manga first. It is hype as shit. Oh my god, like I understand the hype train. It thoroughly deserves it.
Yeah, Blue Lock's that new sport anime hype train.
Oh yeah,
It's about soccer.
gotcha. But yeah, it's so fucking good. I just like, why didn't I get to around to this
Yeah,
so much sooner? It's
I plan on
incredible.
watching it relatively soon.
Wasn't it on Netflix for a while?
I think it still is.
Oh,
I
really?
think.
I can't remember now. But
But yeah, now Blue Lock is the new hype.
the new hype
sport
show.
anime. Yeah. And I watched 2 episodes of it, and it has that for a reason. It's
Oh,
pretty,
yeah?
It's pretty fucking hype. Yeah. Yeah. As for like manga, right now I'm currently reading. Yeah. So I really like for manga. I'm reading One Punch Man, which is incredible.
It's still going.
It's still good. It's yeah.
For
it
some
sure
reason,
is.
I thought it ended.
It's incredible. No, it's the latest arc just ended.
Oh,
but
gotcha.
It's still going.
Gotcha.
It kind of just comes out whenever because the artist does ungodly talented work.
Right. So he's like, yeah, fuck you guys. No regular schedule.
Yeah, he's like, it comes out when it comes out. Like, motherfucker, like, you see how every panel is something you would frame in your house? Yeah, I'll put it out whenever the fuck I want.
Yeah, I
And
can't.
I'm like, yeah, okay. So I got that, and then I'm like on and off reading Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, I'm not caught up at all by any means.
Yeah, me
And I
neither.
keep meaning to read more of it. I just keep like starting and then stopping.
Yeah.
Same with Rosario Vampire. I've been reading that for like 3 years now.
You know what I'm really upset about?
What?
On the Shonen Jump app, you can't read Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah.
It's something about, like, I understand why they do that, but I am mad about it, and it takes basically everything within me to not buy the digital copies because I'm like, if I'm going to buy it, I
Physical.
want physicals.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I really want to read the manga again because it is so freaking good, and I haven't read it in like 10 years. And I'm like, this show is just too good to ignore.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like there has been one manga that I have read that I didn't watch anything about it previously.
So you never read a manga before watching the anime?
Except for one,
Really?
which was Negima, which is behind you.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Technically, if you want to count Rave Master, but that was just like it was random issues of manga that my school had, and they
Yeah.
were never like it was like 1, 6, 8, 10,
Yeah.
like, you know.
also Rave Master is garbage. I'm sorry.
I liked it when I read it as a child.
I was gonna say you were probably like 10.
Yeah, and I never actually watched the anime, so
Awful.
yeah. But
It has the trappings of that like early 2000s
shonen.
dubbing shonen, and it sounds pretty bad.
But yeah, so read Rave Master, but I don't really count that as like
Right.
because that was just
'Cause if you're
whatever
reading, like,
the
sporadic
whatever
issues.
issues the school had.
Yeah.
And then technically, that is also how I started Negima, which
Oh,
was
gotcha,
my
gotcha.
school had random issues, and
That's an
and I started-
interesting manga series to have at like elementary school, middle school.
and it was at middle school. And now I remember because the first fucking issue has the fucking girl getting all her clothes blown off, and I'm like, wow,
11-year-old Michael's like, oh my god,
this is the greatest.
this is
book
incredible.
ever. So anyway, yeah. So then like they had that sporadically issued, but then I was like, but I also genuinely liked it too. I was like the like shonen nudity of it was just like a side bonus as a kid. And then I just also genuinely liked it. So then I started like finding where to get it, and then And then when I got like old enough with that, where I actually had like money,
Right.
and then I started buying them. And then I think my cousin had the first 12, so I got those from him.
Right.
And then by the time I was reading it, like where I got to volume 13 is when I think I was like old enough to be able to. I had money. I was working because I started working at 14, so then I
Right.
started buying them, and then I caught up before it actually even finished, because I had to wait for volumes. I want to say like 37 through 39. I think I had to wait for those 3 to come out, which
Yeah, that
fucking
happened to me with
sucked.
Vampire Knight. I had to wait. I think I had to wait for like the last 6 or 8 volumes.
And I'm realizing those are out of order on that shelf and they're bothering me.
Well, just don't look at it.
But yeah, like nothing sucks more than getting like most like all the way through a story basically and then catching up at the epilogue.
Oh,
you
yeah,
have to
that's
wait
the
for
worst.
the fucking epilogue.
So-
it's the
so-
fucking worst.
At my local library, they had
Same thing happened with Domestic Girlfriend. I caught up with the epilogue.
they had like a very small section of like different manga, and it was the same thing of like primarily just like mix and match like volumes of series. But I do remember very clearly they had volume 1 of an X-Men manga series. And I don't remember what it was called. Maybe it was called like Rebels or Teen or something stupid like that.
Fun fact: Marvel's actually doing a bunch of manga runs soon.
Neato.
Yeah, they
That's
teamed
like
up.
the new thing for
Well,
well,
let me-
Disney's doing
Well,
stuff too.
let me tell you, this one that I read was not only hot garbage, it was supposed to have, I don't know how many volumes, but they advertised volume 2 at the end. Because you know how they always do that,
Yeah.
like, oh, read more.
Did they never write a volume 2?
It literally stops at volume 1. And it's essentially, now imagine like X-Men characters, but you're only focused on Kitty Pryde as like a cutesy, quirky girl.
Of course.
What's Bobby
Yeah,
and
Iceman.
and Johnny, right? the
Yeah,
fire guy.
The fire guy. Yeah.
Okay, so
Pyro.
it's essentially a love triangle, like
So
shoujo
was it
manga
enjoyable
series.
garbage?
When I was 11, yeah,
Okay.
okay.
but now that I'm not 11 and there's only one volume of a nothing story, no.
Well, it's the same way of like, I enjoy Negima and I've reread it, but it is absolutely like generic.
Yeah,
The
because
most generic.
from an adult brain, you're just like, this is not great.
Right, like I still have fun with it, but now it's like nostalgia based.
Yeah,
and but it's
you have the rose tinted glasses
yeah,
on.
and I'm reading it, I'm like, wow, this really was generic. But to someone that never, because I didn't watch anime, like I read that before I was watching anime.
Yeah.
And it was like, this fucking cool as shit. Like it has fucking Super Saiyan transformations basically.
Yeah.
And stuff like it's actually a really fun read, but it's just like it is very generic. But because I watched the anime and I think they have 2. Both are awful.
2 animes?
I think so. One doesn't follow anything and one does kind of follow it.
Like a FMA Brotherhood
I don't even
type
think
deal?
I don't even think the one that doesn't follow it follows it to any capacity.
All right, just in namesake.
Yeah, because I think I watched that one. First time I ever felt depressed in my life. not even joking. I remember watching it and watching the ending, and like it was like as a child, it was one of those endings that was like really cool and like fantastical and stuff. And I remember finishing it and being like, my life will never be this cool. And being like legitimately like sad and being like, wow, life sucks.
So you didn't watch Toonami growing up, right?
Not really, no.
So when Toonami had Naruto on, and this was like the first major arc of Naruto. I remember when they were playing this on Toonami, and it was like the Zabuza like Village of the Mist arc.
Right.
And
The only time you see Kakashi do copy ninja stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
But when Zabuza dies, I remember that being like live on TV, and I'm sitting on the couch bawling my eyes out. I was like, "This is the height of television."
Oh my god.
Yeah,
But I was also like 9 years old. I didn't know any better.
Yeah, I think Negima actually has a sequel show. I don't know if it's actually if it has a manga. I assume so, but I know that the that there is a show that takes place after the manga.
Right.
That's like years in the future.
And it's considered canon.
I think so. I've never watched it. I don't hear that it's bad.
Right.
So like that's at least something. But cuz like the ending, that show, like that manga, like that story gets really weird near like the like end of the middle part, cuz then you start realizing that like the main girl is like weirdly very important and from the past and future and fucking like whatever. Spoilers for like a fucking 20-year-old.
I was going to say,
manga.
you guys have had your time to read this / watch it.
So the main girl is like a princess from the future past or something, and in
The
order
future or past?
Future past.
Okay.
And so they, in order to stop like the world from exploding, basically, they have to put her in what is essentially a coma, but like magical shit, because she's so integral to the thing that she needs to like go away for a while. And like basically for the world not to blow up, she needs to go into a coma for 100 years, which means she has to leave all her friends and everyone she cares about.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah. And so she's like, okay, I'll do this. Sure, whatever. Like, and all the friends are like, no, like we'll figure out a way. And she's like, no, there is no way. Like, I love you all. Whatever. Goes into the fucking thing. 100 years goes by. She wakes up. All her fucking people that she knows are basically dead, except for like a handful of them. And then she
or
goes,
like 100 at that point.
They have to be 100 and something.
Yeah.
But it's a show about like a fucking world of magic, so some of them
Right.
are still alive. And then it's like it turns. So she's getting like the. Did any of you guys ever see Interstellar?
No.
Okay.
Oh, wait, yes. With Matthew McConaughey?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know the scene when he's like watching the videotapes of his kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, she gets that where she's like she wakes up and she's getting all like these pictures and videos of all her friends going and achieving all these things.
Right,
through
living
life.
their life.
Yeah. And she's like all fucking sad and depressed, and she's like, at least like I know they did it. Like the world's not fucking exploded. And
Oh, it's like the opposite of when Starfire time travels
Yeah.
in Teen Titans.
Feels
Exactly.
more Dr. Stone.
yeah.
Is that a spoiler? Does that count? Do you need to make a warning?
I don't even remember. What'd you say?
Dr. Stone?
Yeah. I don't.
The dad.
Oh yeah.
Does that count as a spoiler?
Maybe. I'll throw something up
Okay,
there.
just
Whatever.
put like a little
Yeah.
Dr. Stone spoiler.
And so then she's all fucking like depressed but happy, and then somebody, I don't remember who, shows up and is like, hey, you did it, good job, actually we've been working on a way to send you back into the past immediately after you did this, so actually you get to live both lives. And so
it was
she wakes
fucking
up
pointless.
No, it wasn't pointless, it just made it
Pointless.
she sacrificed and then didn't sacrifice, because what happens is immediately once she goes in, she gets teleported back. So like she's in there,
Right.
but she does lose the 100 years, but then she immediately gets teleported to right after she goes in, so she still gets to live her life. So I'm pretty sure that creates a time
I was
loop
going to
of
say,
some
wouldn't
kind.
that create like a
Well,
break in the timeline?
I guess technically what happened, well, yeah, because like she didn't see herself in that life, which means technically she's now, who knows. But like regardless,
So then it wouldn't be a loop.
I don't know. Maybe she dies before she wakes up again, so they don't ever interact, and so she always was there.
She's
But
gonna murder the other
yeah,
one.
but they talk about how she isn't there. So I don't know. Who knows? Fuck it, whatever. But like, so it's convoluted in a way that like you're like you went from this fucking like 12-year-old boy who is a magician that needs to go do like his work study basically to become a real mage, and ends up being an English teacher at a Japanese school for all girls. He's from England, by the way. And so then like you have wacky hijinks, and then it goes to this girl is actually a princess that needs to go sleep in a coma for 100
So
years
it
while all of you
escalates
have
real
magic
quick.
powers. And like actually it is gradual. Like I said, it's like the middle, it's like the back half of the middle where like shit
Right.
just explodes.
Yeah.
But it's pretty fucking fun.
Yeah.
Like it's fun, trashy early 2000s manga, you know?
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
It's like Love Hina, but not.
Yeah. And
I
then,
always, for some reason in my mind, those are very similar to me, even though I know they're not.
right.
But
So
I just equate those things together.
Yeah, because I've only that's the only manga I've ever read
Without watching the.
without with like I've always watched anime first before going to the manga. Like, just that's I started watching My Hero, and then once season 4 or season 5 stopped, I don't remember which one, I jumped on the manga because I started like getting half spoilers, and I was like, fuck this, I'm just gonna read it.
You just have to figure.
Yeah. And then so like usually I'll just hop onto the manga, or like if I know the manga's over and the anime might not be getting something or whatever.
Right. You'll just.
Yeah. And then I only own Rosario Vampire for the bit.
I mean, it's a great bit.
It is a great bit.
Like, it's such trash, but I kind of love it. Like,
the manga is so different from the show.
I truly cannot hate on Rosario Vampire because it's the brand of trash I subscribe to personally.
We talking the manga or the show?
The manga. I actually don't think I ever watched the show.
So the show is basically they went.
Is
hey,
it 2 seasons?
Yeah.
Okay.
The second season is even more. The manga is actually like a shonen. Like it is a battle shonen basically.
It's like a monster school learn to fight.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
The anime they went. Yeah, but like it's ecchi light. How about we just make it ecchi?
And like there's waifus available.
Yeah, and they're like, what if we just make it ecchi instead of shonen? And so like it's like monster of the week, but just titties everywhere.
Is this the one with the vampire siblings, the love interest? Is
No,
that
that's
this one?
Vampire Knight,
Oh.
No,
which is also a brand of trash. I
those
subscribe
are not
to.
siblings. They're the same person.
In this is
No,
not a
it literally
spoiler. They
happens in the
literally tell
first
you in the
episode.
first chapter. Like they're like, "Hey, you see that bitch over there? She's a vampire. When she turns into one, her hair is silver."
Okay.
Yeah. And so, yeah, like she has a Rosario that keeps her from being her full vampire form. When it removes, it becomes the full vampire. So she gets the silver hair.
Gotcha.
But in the manga, it's like it's a straight up shonen. Like there is like fan service and stuff, but like to a way lesser degree.
I think
The
ecchi light is a good way to describe
ecchi light.
it.
The anime went, no. How about we go like just below High School DxD?
Full ecchi
and then,
tag.
And then the second season went, we're going even further. We're gonna show
on.
real titties. And then and so the second season, like you get Best Girl, Snow Girl. She's just like. All of them are being like possessed by a mirror.
She doesn't get introduced until the second season.
No, she's in the first season, but I mean this happens in the second season.
Oh.
They're all getting possessed by like a mirror, and they fall in like love, even more in love with Skune, and then she's like, oh, like you gotta. What's the fucking quote? It's so fucking ridiculous. It's like, oh, you like, don't you want to see my 2 snow cones with cherries on top? And she pulls her top down. It's just.
Oh
And
my
you're like,
god.
what the fuck is this?
See, I think a part of why I never watched.
She's like a snow fairy. That's literally what she is.
That's a good line.
I think the reason why I never watched the anime is I actually really didn't like the style of like how it looked in comparison to the manga. There
One
was
of the first anime I watched.
there was like this just disconnect where I felt like stylistically it wasn't the same vibe, if that makes sense. That I just couldn't do it. Like I just
Well, Mike said the plot's also different, so
right. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's
So
very
it is-
different.
it
It's
is
literally
different.
not the same thing at all.
Yeah.
I think I've seen like clips of it, but I never cared to watch it because I was like, this is kind of ugly.
yeah.
Because it was like, when did that anime come out? Like mid 2000s?
Yeah. around
Yeah,
that.
it was like a very like generic, like mid-budget, mid 2000s anime style, and it looked kind of awful. And I was like, yeah, I can't do it.
It does have a banger of an OP for its second season, though.
Does it now?
Sure
I
does.
wouldn't know.
I'll fucking show you after. Yeah, so that's it. It looks very generic 2000s.
Yeah, like look at the box art compared to like the anime art, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the manga has like
The manga's art's honestly not that bad.
no,
it is
I don't
generic
think,
2000s,
it's,
but it's nice.
It's generic 2000s.
It just looks like they went more like cutesy.
yeah, it's generic 2000s, but I do think there's like it
Oh, so that's
loses
Best Girl.
some of its
That's
charm.
the snow fairy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She is also like socially.
she's like the
awkward
cool
and-
detached girl.
Yeah, she's the cool detached girl that like stalks him.
Yeah.
Basically, she'll just appear in scenes and they'll be like, "Were you here the whole time?" And she's
But
like,
she's
"Yeah,
just,
I was in the
she's
corner."
just too shy.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's just like ooh, too shy.
Oh, okay. I get the vibe.
Basically.
I get it.
Um,
But not too shy to pull out our snow cones.
No,
and
they
cherries
were
and-
possessed.
they were
Oh.
being possessed at the. Well, like all of them, obviously it's a harem, so they make it a harem. Like, and
What's the
even
young one?
in the manga, the
witch?
the witch,
yeah. That's what I thought.
yeah, the lolly.
Yeah, she's a witch. I couldn't remember.
They like, all of them love him, and then that just makes them like fully commit. To be fair, the succubus is like always fucking just pulling her tits out. She's like, yeah, like I'm a succubus. Like come fucking like my tits are the biggest of the group. Like come hang out with me.
Yeah.
I'm the one that you can love.
Let me suck out your soul,
Yeah.
broski.
And then the vampire's like, oh, Skune, like I love you because she's the main love interest. And then like it seems like they're gonna kiss every time. Then she just bites his neck to suck his blood, and fucking comedy. And you're like,
Wacky hijinks.
yeah, wacky hijinks. And then
So she's not the main character?
she is. No. Skune is the guy.
Oh.
Her and the guy are like the main two.
Yeah, and then like the rest of them are all like throughout the show. Like
Okay.
it just becomes the group. Like they are a friend, group of friends.
Like the main
Okay.
cast, essentially.
Yeah. But the show is full on ecchi, where the manga is like ecchi light, and it's mostly
Alright.
about actually like fighting shit, and like he basically becomes like Simon Belmont. I don't know if you guys know like who that is. You know who Van Helsing is? Okay, imagine that.
Okay.
But like fighting for the good monsters versus the like just killing all monsters. He's like, no. Some monsters are good, but some are fucking assholes, and we got to stop them. And over time in the manga, he slowly is becoming more and more of like a vampire because he's been getting his blood sucked so much.
He
And
turns
now
into
he's-
one, right?
At some point, I have not gotten there yet. In the
Oh,
anime,
sorry.
I mean, I knew that. In the
Oh, okay.
anime,
I was like, I
the
feel
anime
like that was
ends with him like becoming one, because they were like,
Doesn't
maybe
it happen like way later though?
Yeah, well, it does. Because in the manga right now where I'm at, he's like a midpoint. He's considered a ghoul, which is like he can't control his powers. He's not actually a vampire. He's just like a fucked up human. And anytime he breaks his seal, like he becomes stronger and kind of gets half vampire powers, but it's like killing him.
Because he has a bracelet seal, right?
Yeah. You know about it enough, I guess.
Yeah, no, I remember like I think I only read it once.
Where I'm at right now is they're in China.
But I don't think I've revisited it since. But I remember all like the major plot beats, if that makes sense. But I feel like maybe I should go back to it because, you know, it's
It's
just
kind of fun.
yeah, it's
Like
just
honestly, like I'm
it's-
reading it now. It's kind of fun.
Like I said, it's the fun like trash that I subscribe to where I don't need it to be like the most serious thing in the world. I just want like to have a fun time.
And
I
all
enjoy
of
the
Mocha's
characters enough.
sisters keep showing up to be like evil-ish, and you're just like, all right, how many fucking are there, and why are you all kind of
100
evil?
sisters.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I don't know. I
I think it's good. I think it's in at least for me. Like I don't love harems only because there's just certain cliches that I can't get into with them. But in terms of harems, I think this has like a nice fun spin to it that
right.
is more entertaining than like a traditional harem. But yeah, it's fine. It's how I like Girls Bravo. Like it's trash, it's a harem, but it's the kind of trash I subscribe to, and it's like a little less run of the mill.
Yeah, I don't know. Most of the time, I find anime by anime, and then I'll maybe go read the manga afterwards. I don't read many manga though, to be fair.
I was gonna say, do you feel like you watch more anime than manga?
Absolutely. I've read like maybe 10 manga in my life. I
How
can
many
find that out.
chapters of Chainsaw Man is there?
Oh,
If I was to read
wait,
it
I can
to
tell you right
find
now.
out.
I was gonna say I can tell you right now, because I'm caught up.
Oh, you
Um,
are? I'm not.
Yeah, I am absolutely caught up, because part 1 finally came back. There is 109.
Oh yeah, they just had that comeback. That
Are
was
they
in
short
October.
or long chapters?
Every
They're standard
standard
20
shonen jump, so
page.
20, 22.
20-ish page chapters.
And it's a pretty quick read. It's good.
If you feel like you want, do you read manga ever or no?
Quintessential quintuplets.
Okay, if you want to read manga, I highly recommend like
Shonen
get
Jump's
into it. The Shonen Jump app, it's $2 a month. We're not sponsored, but if you want to sponsor us, do it because I love this app.
It's literally the greatest deal I
It's
spend on.
so fucking good. $2 a month for basically their entire catalog. Come on. But if you want to like get into it reading manga, I recommend Spy Family. The manga is
Yeah?
really good.
I still have to finish.
And it's only like
Quintessential.
7. It just updated, so there's
I
70 chapters
have
right now.
finished reading 7 manga,
Ever.
of which 2 of those are one shots. by the Chainsaw Man author, so they were like 200 pages.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so 2 of those are one shots. One's Domestic Girlfriend.
You know
One's
what?
the Death Note one shot. So
Did you
3
read
one shots.
Death Note in its entirety?
No.
Oh.
I just watched it.
Ah,
I have
okay.
no desire to really read.
That's
Death
fine.
Note.
I mean,
That one shot was good.
I read it only purely for the artwork. It's incredible. Like, I think the animation still holds up really well for like a 2008 show.
Right.
But the manga is like, for the amount of ridiculous hype that the like show has for like certain moments that are kind of stupid, it's even more hyped up in the manga. Like, it's really good.
I also will say, because I read Vigilantes.
Right.
So all right. So technically, that doesn't even have an anime.
Right.
But I found that because
Of My Hero.
And Colin and Eamon were reading it. Which is also partially why I started reading the My Hero manga. Also, was because they were both reading it, and so I wanted to be able to talk about it.
Right.
And it's always more annoying when you're trying to have a conversation and one of the people hasn't read something, so you
right,
don't know
'cause you
where
don't
the
wanna be
spoiler
like, don't
is and
spoil
where.
for me.
Because, like, you know, once you read enough of something, you forget where the show is entirely or what's been shown and what's not.
Right.
So I was like, fuck it, I'll read it. But Vigilantes was great. Vigilantes is awesome. The only thing that is bad about Vigilantes is that the artist for Vigilantes cannot draw All Might to save his life.
R.I.P.
It looks so weird every time.
Is Vigilantes drawn and written by somebody
Yeah.
separate from My Hero?
Yeah, it's not
Is it
Hori
the same
Koroshi.
team?
Koroshi.
Because I can't imagine they'd have the rights to those characters if it wasn't. You know.
Well,
what
I mean, yeah, like it's somebody was like, "Hey, can I make a side story in your universe?" And he was like, "Yeah,
Well,
sure."
Wasn't there an episode that was like kind of like about it?
That episode
Because
fucking
I-
ruined our chances of getting
Yeah, that's-
Vigilantes
that's
anime.
what I was about to say. Is I remember people being upset because then they were like, "There's no way now that
Yeah.
that's gonna come out."
It took like one of the cool, like not one of the coolest, but like the closest to the show, but it was also really cool chapter or arc in the manga, and they just were like, "We're just gonna cut that out and put it in the show." And I'm like, all right,
R.I.P..
cool. Fuck us, I guess. But yeah, really good manga. I recommend it if you're gonna start reading some manga.
I don't even know how much anime or
I'm
manga I've read
probably
because I
not
don't
going
like
to.
track it.
I sure
I
do.
feel like I should.
You can track it on my anime.
No, I
list.
know I can.
She doesn't even
Oh.
track her anime.
But
Oh.
the problem is, at this point, I have watched so much anime that because I watched it when I was like little, I don't even remember
Just
what
do
happened.
it as you remember things, because there's stuff that I
Well-
don't even have like on here, and randomly I'll remember. I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I did watch that," or "I did
I
start
I
that,"
have
or
a
whatever.
list typed out on my phone,
I used to have that too, so
that
it made
I,
my life
like,
a little bit easier when I
hand
first signed up.
typed. But going through to like count is really a pain in my neck, and this
Yeah.
is also like at least 20 short at this point because I think I did this
Just
list like
make an anime
2 years
list.
ago.
Make a Mal
You
account.
definitely did it a year ago when we did those episodes. If the bottom is "Welcome to the NHK" and "Erased."
No, because that would have been welcome. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Then a year
Yeah.
ago.
Because it was Colin and then Anthony.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're right. Then a year ago.
Because it was
Um,
in our order except for me and Kat. Me and Kat were switched.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, and then I have things like Pokemon movies 1 through 7 because
I don't put movies. There's so many
Oh, I
movies
do.
I've seen. I just always forget. I just like it doesn't. I'm like I'm doing shows, whatever. There's some movies on there if I remember, but like there's too many movies I've seen, and then I just haven't put them on there.
I put movies like
yeah, I put especially if it's something like Akira, like I'll mark that down because there's no like
the thing with,
anime equivalent.
yeah
if
the
that
thing with
makes
movies I
sense.
always find funny though is because I log movies too, so on Letterboxd, and so when I watch anime movies I have to write a review on Letterboxd, and then it becomes like, and it's out of 5, and then on Mal it's out of 10, and you don't write anything for that, so you're just like, all right, so where's this like out of 5 equate to a
Times 2.
yeah, like well because you can do halves on
Oh, you can do
yeah
halves. I wish they had halves. Because there's just some shows, and I'm like, this needs a half. Like, it's not either. And
Yeah.
I just need half.
Well, if you can do halves on Letterboxd, won't that just be the odd number?
Yeah, I mean, basically that's kind of how I do it.
Right.
But and then like but it's like, you know, and so I have like the same review for two shows and whatnot, but because I just did that recently for One Piece Red, which interesting movie. Like
all I get is ads.
I was gonna say I keep seeing ads
everywhere.
for it.
What-
They must have paid so much fucking money.
it got
for
Times
ads.
Square. It got an entirety of Times Square.
Damn.
At one
So
point, yeah.
many ads. Plus at fucking Comic-Con, they not only had one, they
Two
had two
giant ass
booths.
booths.
Yeah,
Okay,
giant booths.
so One Piece Red, I don't want to say it was a bad movie.
Are you
but-
caught up with One Piece?
No.
Oh,
But I don't care.
that's fair.
Oh, it's like a continuation or it's separate?
I mean, most anime movies are their own thing.
So you was fine that you're not caught
Well,
up.
I mean, like, they're their own thing, but it usually will take place
It helps to have context.
around where the anime is
Where
at.
you lost it all.
Yeah, so like, you know, if let's just go Dragon Ball because I can make that up without spoiling One Piece because no one gives a shit about Dragon Ball.
Okay.
I love Dragon Ball. Nobody cares about
No,
Dragon
he's
Ball
absolutely
spoilers.
right. I feel like what are you gonna like? Dragon Ball isn't like a hard
Yeah,
like.
but like I'll go with
series.
Dragon Ball Z, right? Like there could be, say you're watching like the first 3 episodes of Dragon Ball, right? And then but you know that the show is up to the point where like he turns Super Saiyan. And then a movie comes out. The movie will most likely be like about how like, oh, like he can turn Super Saiyan in the show, so we can put that in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So with like One Piece, it's if there's a new form, it'll probably be in the movie, kind of thing. So the movie was like, the soundtrack was great. It was actually really good. Whoever was singing in that for the main character did a phenomenal
The girl
job.
with the red and white hair.
Yeah.
I have the song because while I was at Comic-Con, I Shazammed it because I was like, oh, this shit's good.
Yeah, the soundtrack for that entire movie, really good. My God, does that camera not stop moving though? You can't tell where anything is in relation
my
to everything. Like there are random panning shots, and then any time that there is like an actual like the girl is singing or there is a fight scene, you can't tell where people are in relation to anything else. It is just like, oh, like here's an arm swinging, and then all of a sudden, oh, those characters are there? I thought they were over there. Like when now they're next to each other. Like that's the one that like, which is in a way a nitpick, but like
I mean, it's basically like a continuity error.
it's
if they're
not
like
really
in
it's not really like an
wrong
error.
spot.
It's just that it's not that they're in the wrong spot, but
They just didn't
it
show
doesn't give
them
you
go-
a good
okay.
scale of where people are to get it. So it never feels like somebody just jumped. It just feels like that was not where they were.
Okay.
And then when it like gives the perspective, it's like, oh, I guess they were there the whole time. Like it's just the camera movement in that movie. It does not give you a good sense of scale.
Did
and,
they
like,
do it
positioning.
in CG?
There were CG spots, but no, for the most part, it was.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the times with like the dancing stuff, it would go to the girl Uta being like CG, and actually, like you could tell, but the way they were using it actually worked pretty fine.
Gotcha.
Because it felt like when they were doing it, it was like on a screen kind of thing. So it
Oh,
kind of
so
felt
that,
like
yeah. So
And
it
then-
kind of blended in.
yeah, and then like, and if it was like far enough away, and then when they would do a closer up shot, for the most part, it would be actually 2D.
Right.
So like they did it pretty well. Like it was not good CGI, but like
Could
the
be
way they
worse.
used it was fine.
Right.
You know.
You
But
were
yeah.
just mentioning like
Ado thinks it. Ado. I don't know.
There you go.
you were just mentioning the camera movement. There's this movie. It's a Korean movie that was on Netflix called Carter.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were very ambitious with their camera work. I understand why they did it this way. The camera is moving literally nonstop the whole time. It is so nauseating
Right.
and so all over the place that I was like, I got halfway through that movie. I was like, I need to turn this off. Like, I'm getting motion sickness.
That's how I felt about Handshakers.
It's like Handshakers,
I want to fucking
but
throw up.
even more. And I was like,
Oh my god.
what the fuck?
That's one of the interesting things. I was watching a video by Mother's Basement that was talking about like CG in shows and how people were like shit talking the CG in Chainsaw Man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
I
he-
thought it was pretty good.
Well, it is. It's actually phenomenal. It like especially in regards to like the next couple episodes afterwards, it even gets like better. But he was just talking about the whole point where he was like, in the same way that dub v sub shouldn't really be an argument anymore because it was like that starts from bad dubs back in like
Right.
the 90s. CGI is for the most part because of bad CGI in the 2000s. He's like, and then he was bringing up a point of like how people would be like, oh, the backgrounds and the characters don't feel like they're meshing, and he's like, yeah, but you want to know how you do that? Because if you watch Handshakers, it's like, oh, the CG and the backgrounds are all synced to the same frame rate, so that's why it looks all fucking weird and like smooth and bad. When you don't sync them up, that's why it looks like slightly different but better, because it actually kind of like they're not on the same.
It makes more sense.
Yeah.
They're not on the same plane.
Yeah, it was like a really interesting video that I recommend people go watch if they still have like. And I'm still one of those people that has like hangups on 3D CG and stuff.
I feel
on
like
that.
for
but
the-
like for the most part, it's gotten way better than
I
it
think
ever
if
was.
it's not like egregiously bad, if it's not like the Berserk movies CG,
right.
for the most part, I really do not give two shits, because unless it's a show like Beastars where it's all CG and it's like a thing, I'm really not gonna pay attention for the most part, because I think in like terms of Beastars where that CG in my opinion looks really good, and I think it helps that everything is CG, so it seems a little bit more blended and like seamless.
It's just stylistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, like then it's a stylistic choice. I mean, isn't what was it? No, Pong was rotoscope, not CG. Sorry.
Well, it's like CG especially excels when it comes to mechanical stuff.
Yeah.
Like, because that's where it's good. Like if you want a perfect example of what pioneered CG in anime, it's Steam Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steam Boy was like what pioneered how to do it, which was like CG backgrounds with characters painted on, or CG characters, whatever, like, and the way that they animated, which was separate like styles and stuff, and that all the mechanics are all CG with the the 2D characters interacting with them, and it's like, because that's what it works best at.
Yeah.
Is mechanical shit. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't mean to harp on for too long.
No,
but
you're
yeah,
okay.
I just I think One Piece was like, the movie was like fine. I give it like a 3 out of 5, and for
I
Mal,
thought you
it
were
was
gonna
like,
give it a 3 out of 10.
No.
I was like,
I
oh my
also thought you were
God.
gonna say 3 out of 10. I'm like, that does not
No,
sound fine to
It
me,
was
my
not
dude.
that bad, but I gave it a 3 out of 10.
yeah.
I spit on it.
Yeah.
because I was looking at it on there. I don't remember exactly what I gave it on Mal.
Rough 3 out of 5.
Yeah, but like it was. The soundtrack mostly saved it for me, if I'm going to be honest. The animation was also good. It was just swinging too much. The camera did not stop fucking whipping around.
Right.
But yeah, anyway, I don't know. That's my One Piece red thoughts. And we can wrap it up there. I
Yeah, I
guess.
think we're good.
Right.
So hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave a review, follow if you're listening to us on any Spotify and whatnot. Don't forget to follow Kat the Moonstar on Twitch. And you have 3 weeks to watch. What the fuck are we watching again?
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Jujutsu Kaisen season 1.
I also realized I don't think we mentioned it in the last
no,
episode that
last
you
episode
had
I just
time?
said, because I was like, whatever, you have however many weeks
Oh,
away.
yeah.
Because
Oh.
I didn't remember that it was 76. I thought it might
Oh.
have been 74, and I couldn't remember which. So I was like, you
Yeah,
have however
whatever.
many weeks. I'll throw it up on the screen.
That's fine.
Yeah, so you have 3 weeks to watch Jujutsu Kaisen season 1. If you want to watch the prequel movie, you can, but we're not going to be talking about it.
It's a good movie.
It is a good movie. If you haven't seen it, maybe you should just watch that too while you're at it.
I was
We
going
can
to say,
talk
I
about
haven't
it.
watched it. Maybe I will.
Yeah, if you do, then we can talk
All
about
right.
it. 'cause
We're
the two of
tacking
us
that
have.
on. You have to watch the prequel movie, too.
All right, there you go. If you don't want to, it literally, I mean, like, whatever.
We can talk about the movie at the end.
Yeah, we can talk
Yeah.
the movie at the end.
So then like just
Um,
be spoilers at the end.
And yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. We will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.